Okay, so we're back. Ayan guys, ang ating kaunting pa-intro about sa ating special guest ngayon, partner. So siguro wag na natin patagalin, no? So let us ready our English speaking power dyan.
Ayan,
Okay.
so eto na, ang pinakinaabangan, especially that we have questions about student visa na rin from our comment section. Ayan, so all of that we'll be answering one by one. So let's introduce our guest all the way from Australia. We have Miss Caroline T from West Australia Institute of Further Studies. Hi, Miss Caroline, how are you?
I am very well, thank you. Thank you so much, Junie and Justin, for the warm reception and for having me on today.
Yes,
Okay,
and of
yeah.
course,
First of all, we would like to say thank you so much, of
thank
course, for
you.
giving us time and to be with us in our Facebook Live now. In behalf of the Visa Center, we would like to say thank you so much for this opportunity, Miss Caroline.
That's all right. I hope I can share some authentic insights about living in Australia and also living in Perth as well. So yeah, definitely.
Yes, because all of our
Okay.
viewers are very excited to hear it firsthand. So, for our viewers, Miss Caroline is the representative of one of our partner schools in Perth. So, if you have questions or if you plan to go to Perth, this is the best time for you to ask them because it's going to be from her. So, Miss Caroline, kindly introduce to our viewers what is West Australia Institute of Further Studies. And we've mentioned that this is based in Perth, right?
Yeah. So we are a college that has been open for 10 years now in Western Australia, Perth. Are very hands-on with the business, so they are always on campus and very happy to speak to students. I'm speaking to you today as one of the marketing and student support officers. So I will be one of the people who is taking care of you if you decide to come to study here. I also work with two colleagues. One of them, her name, I will just call her Ate Jerly. So Ate
Ate
Jerly is
Jerly.
Oh.
a
Shout out to
Filipino.
Ate Jerly if she's watching.
She is a Filipino, our Filipinos officer, and we have quite a few Filipino students in the school. However, overall, we have actually 45 at the moment, different nationalities of students studying in the school, including Australian students as well. We are located in Perth City, and I have a brief presentation just to take you guys over what it is actually like in Perth, because it's not the most famous city in Australia, that I can openly admit, but it is a city that I absolutely love because I'm biased and I work here and I grew up here. So let me just
Yeah,
tell
and
you
you
about.
were born in Perth, am I right?
Yes, exactly. Gotta spruik Perth as much as I can.
Yes.
Okay.
So,
So yeah. Okay, so Miss Caroline, we're going to give you the screen for your short presentation about the school for our viewers to have a little information first before they can throw their questions.
Yes, that'd be great.
Okay.
Thank you very much. So just to get started, I want to tell you guys a little bit about the key benefits of coming to Perth. And I would say that the number one benefit is the wonderful lifestyle that we have. It is sunny here at least 70% of the year, which is ridiculous. These are some photos that I've chosen of Perth and the nearby areas. One of them is actually a photo that I took myself when I went on a hike. I will let you guys
wow.
guess which one of the photos is the one that I took and which ones are the ones that are from the internet.
I
So
think the one that you took is at the far left.
far left, with the one with the mountains or the one with
The
the
one with the
forest?
skyscrapers. Am I correct?
Yes, that is the one I
Oh,
took. So that is
nice.
part of Western Australia. The good thing about Perth is even though we are quite a sizable city, we are not the biggest, but we take up nearly 1/3 of Australia, and there is so many beautiful places to explore. I love to go hiking personally, so that's a photo I took from one of my hikes. And we
Wow,
also
that's
have
amazing.
yeah, it was amazing. I wish I could blow it up and have the entire screen.
And we wish we were there right now.
Next time, I'll invite you guys over and we can hang out together.
Okay.
So I suppose the other good thing about living in Perth is that it's not quite as busy or competitive. So we have a very relaxed lifestyle here, but we still have a very strong economy backed mostly by mining. So that's what runs a lot of the economy and keeps the rest of the system going. So we are the 4th largest city, which means we just barely escape from the title of overcrowded. So at the end of last year, you may have heard from Leanne that certain cities in Australia were considered to be regional. As you can see, we have a city. It's not just a farm, but for the purposes of perhaps another visa, West Australia is considered regional as opposed to Sydney, Melbourne and Brisbane, which are not considered regional cities. As I said, we've been open for 10 years. That's what our campus looks like. It's right in the heart of the city. You know that it's somewhere good because we are right across the street from the Apple store, if anyone is an Apple. And we are 4 minutes walk away from the central train station as well.
That's a good location.
The main benefits that you'll get from studying at WAIFS is that we have a very convenient timetable. So you only have to come to the class for 2 days of the week. And for the rest of the time, you can actually go out and work, you can socialize, you can explore Western Australia or even Australia and New Zealand as soon as they open up New Zealand to us again soon. But we're relatively safe as well, being where we are, and it is quite a safe community. So I think we are often known, we are often known around Australia as a bit of a Goldilocks state because we have something of the best of the busy cities, but something of the best of what Australia is known for as well. We aren't a university ourselves, we are actually a college, which means we provide up until advanced diploma level courses, but we do have partnerships with other universities if students want to progress onwards, and they may actually be able to get some credit transfer so that they can study their university degrees at a lower fee as well. These photos are just some snaps of successful graduates of WAIFS and also the practical training as well for a couple of our courses. We also have a very supportive and diverse community. I will be there to welcome you at orientation. In addition to the benefits that I've already spoken about, we have a flexible payment plan and you are going to get quality training when you come here as well. Our 2 most popular courses with some of the international students are cookery and hospitality. Included in that is that we will find your work placement for you so that you don't have to worry about anything, and you'll get training from some of the top tier hospitality venues in Australia. For example, we are next to the 5-star Intercontinental Hotel, and we place many of our students there, and various other 5-star hotels and restaurants around Western Australia as well.
Okay.
Another popular course with a lot of students, especially the ladies, is childcare. Once again, we will take care of your practical placement for you. If you'd like to study a course like that, you can actually start working in a childcare centre at the same time as you're doing your studies. So you can study childcare, get hands-on experience, and then on top of that, work in a childcare centre at the same time.
Wow.
I personally couldn't do it. I love babies, but I don't love babies enough to do it full time.
Okay.
Definitely very rewarding for some people to be able to educate and nurture young people. Alongside that, we have a wide range of courses such as community services and aged care. We have dental assisting and dental technology. We have quite a few Australian students studying dental assisting, which is to be a dental nurse. It's quite popular as it's subsidized by the government for the local students, so there's a real demand for dental nurses. There's also business management and accounting studies with us, again, widely applicable. I personally, again, can't do accounting. Despite my appearance, I'm not very good. But if you're going to be running a business, number 1 step is to work out how does the money work? Because if the money works, then the business can work. So accounting is a very, very good course to take. We also have work health and safety, which is applicable to a lot of industries. It's not just building and construction. There are serious, health and safety risks in, for example, a hospital. And we have quite a few students from diverse backgrounds studying in that kind of course. And as I said, in an economy backed by mining with such high work health and safety standards in Australia, that's quite a popular course as well. Finally, thank you very much for listening to that short overview. I'm going to give it back to the lovely Junie and Justine. And if you guys have any questions, you're more than welcome to pop them in the comments or just let me know directly and I'll do my best to answer them.
Okay, I have a question right away because you mentioned a couple of courses already that is available from your school. I wanted to know how many years these courses they need to take. Is it like a 1-year course or 2 years course?
It actually depends on the course. You can package 2 courses together to become 2 years, or otherwise you can choose to just study a little bit first, depending on the student's individual situation. So quite a few students will package a couple of courses together because it's more convenient for them. So they might, for example, package a diploma as well as an advanced diploma of business, or perhaps childcare studies together with an advanced diploma of community sector management as well.
Okay, so the list of courses you mentioned earlier, those are available for 1 year. And it's just that it will just going to make 2 years if you're going to combine courses.
Yes, you can make it up to, I would say, in the first application, usually students will package up to around 2 years.
Okay, so in that statement, I just like to clarify. Let's say if I enrolled there for 1 year and then I got my visa and I'm going to stay there, a student visa for 1 year, and then suddenly I wanted to continue getting some more courses for me to extend my stay for another year. You will be helping us to extend our stay, or is it automatic that I can extend my stay as long as I have a enrolled documents?
Yeah, so if you come to Australia and enroll for one course, let's say that course goes for 1 year. If you really like it here, then of course we would love to have you stay with us and keep studying. And I throw events, so I normally hang out with the students at the events and things like that as well. You would have to go for another student visa application because you need the visa to be able to stay in Australia. But as long as you're meeting the requirements of the course, you can, of course, enroll for the next course.
Another course. Yeah.
Okay, that's good. Okay, partner, you have a question.
Yeah, it's actually good that you've mentioned that you'll be assisting the students to be working in related jobs. So we have a question from one of our viewers. She's asking, we have a question from Beatriz Saragosa. She's asking, what are the jobs available for students? So aside from what you've mentioned, are there any other jobs that are suitable for students, or especially in terms of balancing their academics and, of course, working? So what are the most common jobs that they take in Australia?
Okay, so if you're going to be working in Australia, I actually usually advise students not to necessarily go directly for something which they think is going to be easier to get, let's say. I advise students to apply for every McDonald's that they see, for example. The reason being that a lot of the students that come to the school, they're, not 18 anymore. They already have some life skills. They already have some life experiences. If they're in a course which has a strong practical component, then you will usually help the students and encourage them to study something that is related to their field. For example, as an accounts administration assistant, we have students working even for the agents that help them to come here. They then return the favor by going and working with them for some accounting work, for example. If you're going to be studying hospitality and cookery, then of course you should try and be in that industry and get some more hands-on experience in the local industry, because it is all about networks and who you know. But we've got students working in a ridiculously wide range of fields, from aged care, we've had doctors, We have project managers, warehouse managers, and all kinds. So it really, really depends on what the student's background and experience is, but they should be able to apply for a lot of jobs in hospitality as well.
Okay. Anyway, before we throw another question from one of our viewers, we just like to announce to our viewers, guys, this has already been discussed earlier. We have a good news to our viewers who would like to enroll until 1st of July. Yeah, so the West Australian Institute of Further Studies will give you $230 discount through the Visa Center. So if you are decided to study in Australia,
that's good news.
all you need to do is message us and apply your visa application to us, and you will receive the $230 discount until July 1st. Okay, so now I have a question here coming from Jana Solkar. She is asking if do they offer scholarship for interested international students? Do you have like scholarship programs in your school?
We aren't running a particular scholarship program at the moment, but as you said, we do have discounts available for this promotion together with you guys if they inquire with the Visa Center. We're willing to offer them a small promotional price for that. We're also happy to arrange a good payment plan for them so that they are not paying everything up front. They're able to manage their finances and pay throughout their studies as well.
That's so nice.
Okay.
And of course,
so go ahead.
Earlier, since you've mentioned that you've been hanging out with a lot of students, so you know their plight. So we have a question earlier from Jana Sarkar also. She's asking, how's Australia supporting their international students? So do you have any idea how are they benefiting from the government, the international students?
Yeah, the COVID-19 situation has been extremely difficult for people from all over the world. And certainly with a high number of international students at this school, we've really had to support the students with making sure that not just they are okay here, but that their families are okay back home as well. Safety always comes first. We have people here who are studying aged care. We have to be very careful about that, as well as just the fact that we are all adult learners here. Technically, we are at risk, not at risk as some elderly people, but that is how that goes. As you all, I'm sure, already know, you might be a little bit sick of COVID-19 news by now.
Yeah.
At the moment, we have been very lucky in Western Australia, being so insulated. There's only been less than 10 fatalities. There's been nearly 10,000 COVID-19 tests undertaken, and there's been only around 500 cases detected. So actually starting this weekend in Perth, the limits on the size of people is going to increase to 100 or 300 if you have divided rooms, and the majority of businesses are going to start operating again. We've had support from Study Perth for international students that are struggling. Being in the student support team, we have helped some students find alternative accommodation. I've been assisting with job hunting, as well as we have been having deferred payments for any students who perhaps can't work right now, because there's much more important things to focus on. I've also been organising an ongoing food bank. So every 2 weeks, the students come in and leave with a huge pile of food to share with them, just because every little bit helps.
Okay, so that's a big help from West Australian Institute of Further Studies. Now, my question, Miss Caroline, is this. Because with our current situation of this pandemic, and to our viewers as well, why do you think that it is still good for them to start their application as student visa going to Australia?
Okay, So look, at the end of the day, if it's your dream to experience Australia, or if it's your dream to pursue some particular studies in whatever field that it may be, you can't put that on hold forever. You need to start your visa application ahead of when you want to come to Australia. So now is actually a good time, as the restrictions are easing, to make your application. We have our entry requirements for the course, not based just on academic requirements, but also on student visa requirements. At the moment, for anyone who is of Filipino nationality, if you go to the document checklist tool, it means that you don't immediately need to submit an IELTS English test result, for example. So that is a really positive sign to me that the Australian, let's just say the Australian government is looking to welcome back international students, and certainly at a federal level, they have announced that they acknowledge how important international students are to the Australian economy, what it brings in terms of value of skills and tourism, and they want to have people come back as soon as July. We don't think that's realistic. We don't think that's realistic at all, but we can split the difference and say that they have considered bringing international students back to Australia.
Okay. Partner, you have a question? Because I have so many questions in my mind right now.
Yeah, just in connection with what you've mentioned, just to clarify to our viewers and of course to some of our clients, the hours that they'll be taking, for example, if they start this July their online courses, it will still be counted to their post-graduation work permit. Am I correct?
If they start their studies,
if they start
Online.
their for example, if they start their program, for example, their courses this coming July, will the hours that they'll be taking up the courses online, will it still be counted for their post-graduation working permit?
okay. So if you choose to start your studies online, you do not have to. If you would prefer to have face-to-face studies, that's perfectly okay. So you can start to apply now, just wait or do some other work or something else in the meantime, and then come to Australia and start face-to-face studies as normal. The benefit of starting online studies is that perhaps it'll give you something to do if you are in a lockdown situation, or you're just really excited to get started right away. It will help support your application as well if you can show that you've actually started to make progress towards your studies and that you are a really genuine student. So there is that benefit as well. If you, sorry, the question is regarding just what the duration, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
In regards to the duration, once you arrive in Australia, you'll actually still receive the full duration of the course, because that duration is what's registered for the course on CRICOS. And CRICOS is generally what a lot of other organizations will use to consider the length of the course.
Oh, I see.
Okay, so that's good. So it means that if later on when the borders are open, and since their visa has already been approved, so at any time they can just go to Australia and continue their face-to-face schooling in your school, correct? Okay.
Yep, that is
Now, my
correct.
question, Miss Caroline, in this situation right now, maybe some of our viewers are really interested, but because of the situation, is there some like special arrangement for the payments that you were going to provide to students who would like to enroll?
Yeah, as I said, we will arrange a special payment plan for the Visa Centre students, as well as that if they would like to start their studies online, if they think that it would benefit them, then they will actually get an additional $1,000 reduction in their tuition fees for the future when they come to Australia.